All right, good morning, and thank you for joining. My name is Andy White, and I will be your host today. We recently had a sales presentation on Epygi's eQall Softphone, and this is a follow-up to so we can provide more details to you on the technical side. As far as logistics, I will have everybody muted for the duration of the call, and if we have time, we'll take some questions at the end. All right, what is Epygi's eQall? It's a new Epygi developed soft phone that provides mobility and flexibility to the end customer. It can be used as a replacement for the desk phone, or it can be used as a complement to the phone. For cloud-based installations, it's ideal. No need to have any equipment on premise for the phone service. It's easily downloaded for free for Windows applications from the Epygi support portal, as you'll see, and from the Google Play Store for Android. All right, a license is required to activate its use, but you do get one free license with every QX. Once you update to the latest software, there'll be one available. And eQall for iOS, unfortunately, we don't have that today. We should have that later this year, so that is forthcoming. Okay, we do have two versions. The first version that we have available, it has multiple SIP accounts, allows up to 8. So that allows you to configure the single eQall application. You can have multiple accounts on it where you can configure it to several extensions or even to several different Epygi QX PBXs. Of course, it provides hold, three-way call transfer, caller ID, call history. You get a real-time call quality indicator. It supports all of the common codecs out there, G711, G722, Opus 729, ILBC. Works with a native dialer on a mobile device. You get the voicemail indicator. You get the call forwarding and do not disturb options. You can toggle those right from the eQall app. And you get multiple contacts lists. You have your favorites. You can bring in your Outlook contacts with the PC version. You can bring in your mobile contacts from your smartphone, and as well as your PBX extensions. And the phonebook directory at the QX. Okay. All right. If you do have I'm going to try to mute everybody, but if you do have the mute option there in front of you, if you would go ahead and mute that, I'd appreciate it. All right. The call will not close if a GSM call comes in. Okay. You also have multiple programmable keys. So the programmable keys that you're familiar with configuring on your desk phones, you're going to have a list of you'll be able to program those as well on your eCall. Things like general voicemail box, callback, speed dial, call parking, watch extensions, conference rooms, callback. You can do all that. Instant messaging. You could have several sessions of instant messaging. Secure communications via TLS, SRTP, or secure SIP. It automatically registers with the PBX regardless of where you're located. So you could be on your customer's local network. Could be out on the internet someplace, but it will find its way back to the QX. All right, so that's a big plus right there. Some of the upcoming changes will you'll be able to upload your logo, etc., and as well as some other items. We'll list those. We have push notifications for saving the battery on your smartphone, so it'll wake up the app as needed. As you can see, we've made, as you will see, we've made auto provisioning of the eCall very simple. Okay, it's real easy to configure with your QX. The user just selects to use the eQall endpoint on his QX extension. The QX our UC device will synchronize with our cloud and produce a QR code, which will be used to configure the eQall endpoint. And you point the mobile phone to the QR code and it's done. For Windows, you just load the QR code file. Okay. We use an enhanced provisioning method to facilitate the registration anywhere. The UC QX device must be able to get to the internet to sync with our cloud. And you simply, the admin can email the QR code to their users. And what we're looking for in version 2 is video support, end-to-end call encryption, call handover across networks, group messaging via chat rooms, OpenVPN integration, call toggling between your the eQall and your desk phone, and also we're going to be adding presence. The latest version, 6.3.5. That's, if you're going to use eQall, you definitely want to update to our latest version. It has one free eQall license available. And due to the coronavirus that's out there right now, your customers can have any number of eQall licenses basically on a trial for 1 month, so you can see if they like it or they need it. And this is valid through the end of April. So the end of this month, you want to get your order in. And then you can, once you install that, they have 30 days from the time of that you install it to decide if they like it or not. And then at that point, they can purchase the additional licenses if needed. Okay, it's perfect for the ECQX cloud users, nothing to install on premise. You can also use the eQall as a parent-child extension to your desk phone, and I'll show you what that's all about. As far as licensing, they're sold in quantities of 4, 8, or 16. Basically, the MSRP on that is basically about $45 per seat. So quantity of 4 would be $180, and then you get some multiple discount pricing in there as well if you use 8 or 16 users. And eQall is going to configure to the device similar to an IP phone that you'll see here in a moment. So it does require an IP line. So if your customer is running short on IP lines, you can we do have a bundle where you can purchase some additional IP lines along with the eQall. So those are discounted a little bit as well. All right, and then you get if you're using the our cloud-based PBX, the ECQX, it's $1.20 per month per user. All right, so at this point, what I'd like to do is jump into it. We're gonna first of all, I want to show you some documentation where you can get some information. All right, so we're going to log into here's the Epygi website. I'm going to go to the support portal. And what we'll do is we'll log in to the support portal. You can do a quick search. You can just search on eQall, and you'll have information that will come up. Or you can go direct. You can go to knowledge base, software applications, and then eQall for Windows. There's a technical data sheet that you can download, and then you've got the software that you could download. Okay, the video is frozen. Okay, let me go back to that. All right, one moment. Okay, how about now? Is that better? You should be able to see the screen now. Okay, sorry about that. Not sure what happened, but I'll try to keep an eye on that. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so back to where I was. We go to the Epygi website, go to the support portal. You log into the support portal. Let's go there, support portal, and I'm already logged in. You can just type in eQall, and you'll bring up the documentation. Or you can go there direct by using the knowledge base, software applications, and then eQall for MS Windows. All right, you've got the technical data sheet, and then you've got the software. So that's where you're going to go to download the manual configuring eQall with the QX IP PBXs, which we're going to take a look at. Here's your the download for Windows version software version 1.2.8, and then you have the release notes for that version. All right, so let's if you need the Android version, you're going to get that from the Google Play Store. Okay, let's take a look at the document here just real quickly. All right, I will say that we've had many, due to the COVID-19, we've had many uh, installs of the eCall over the last 2 to 3 weeks. Very few problems at all. A lot of really good feedback. People that weren't too sure just referred them to the document, and they were able to make their way. So definitely want to point out the document. It gives you some tips. There, it's a little bit small. Let me see if I can enlarge that. Okay, there's definitely some tips in here. For example, and we'll cover this a little bit later, you need to open up your firewall, your Epygi firewall, to receive messages from proxy.sip.epygi.com. Okay, talks about how to configure it, shows you step by step exactly what you need to do. Okay, we're going to show you that. Okay, so that's the document. Let's go ahead and we'll jump right into it. Let's I'm logged into a QX 200. And the first thing that you're going to want to do, you can see I'm on software version 6.3.5. First thing you'll want to do is go to Setup, Basic Setup, and over here there's a tab called ECMon. That's Epygi Cloud Monitoring Platform. And you want to enable the EC Cloud, epygicloud.com, monitor.epygicloud.com. Okay, by default, that's going to be turned off. So regardless of whether you're using our ECMon platform for monitoring your devices or not, I highly recommend that you do use that. But even if you're not, you still need to enable this this function, okay? because that's going to be used to generate the configuration file, as you'll see here in a moment. Okay. All right, so let's, from there, you're going to go to your extensions. And you select an extension that you're going to be using for eQall. In my case, I'm going to use extension 108. Just do an edit on that extension by clicking on that little shield. Here you've got your display name, and you just make sure that the extension is assigned to an IP line. In this case, it's on IP line number 9. All right, so that's the first step. You create an extension and assign it to the IP line. Second step, I guess the third step, if you want to count the including the ECMON, you're going to go to the interfaces and go to IP lines, and you're going to select that IP line that you're going to be using. This is IP line number 9. Enable the IP phone, go to the drop-down list, and find Epygi eQall. Okay, it's a new device listed from the drop-down list, and you press save. Okay, from there you're going to see this QR code will be generated. All right, so it actually regenerated that code. And it's this QR code that you're going to use to configure the application, the eQall application. Okay, this QR code is a quick response code. It's going to contain all the settings that you'll need to configure. It's all the configuration settings that you're going to need will be contained within this QR code. If you're on a smart device, you could just point your smart device to it, and you'll be able to download it to your smart device. If you're doing the installing a Windows version, what you'll do is right-click on it, and you'll save the image. Save it locally to your PC. And I've created a file called QR code. And if you want, you could put a reference it. So this is, say, extension 108. I know which extension it's going to be to, especially if you're going to be creating many of these or several users. You're going to want to know which extension or which user it's going to go to. So you just give it a file name and save it. Okay, at that point, you are pretty much done on the QX. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to open the eQall application. I've already downloaded it, and I'm going to open it, and I'm going to go to the bottom right where it says settings and go to accounts. I've already got one account on here configured. Okay, that's the extension 150, and that's actually an extension on our ECQX PBX. Okay, I'm going to add the account that I just created. So I go to the QR code and then just click on it. All right, and actually up here at the top, you're going to add the, it's going to point to the folder, or you find the folder where you've got the QR code that you just downloaded. Okay, and I'll save that. Okay, at that point, you can see that it's configured to the eQall, Andy's eQall extension 108. And now I just simply need to enable that. Just with the little slide bar there, I enable it. I believe some of you, or one of you has indicated that you're not able to see the screen. The only thing I could recommend is that you try to rejoin. Everybody else is able to see okay. So I don't think we're having any issues here at the moment. All right, Um, okay, so I've got two accounts configured. I can receive calls from either one of those accounts. So if somebody calls me on extension 150, it'll ring my device. If somebody calls me to extension 108, it's going to ring my device. Now I can only originate calls from the one device or the other. Okay, and that's going to be your default device. Okay, you can see this little home or house. You just choose, that's going to be your default. So if I want to, right now extension 150 is the default. So I'm going to switch that to my extension 108 and make that the default. Okay. So let's go back. Let's go back to the dial pad. So at this point, I can try to originate a call using the dial pad. All right, made a call, and it is ringing. Here at my desk phone, and I pick up, and so at that point we have the call is established. All right. Okay, if I originate from my desk phone and I dial extension 108, you'll see you've got an incoming call, and we can go ahead and answer that. All right. So it's already configured. Let me bring that back up. Let me go ahead and make another call. It's configured and working. That's basically all you have to do to configure that. All right. Okay. If you move your mouse, let's just take a look at some of the controls. If you move your mouse over this these bars here on the top left, you'll see the audio statistics. It's using PCMU. It doesn't stay on the screen there. I have to but it's no packet loss, of course, and the excellent call quality as it should because it's a local call. Okay, if there's any, you can see that this is for your voicemails. Let's just go through some of the other options here at the top. So you can see if I move my mouse to the very top left over the user, it shows me the local username, local extension 108, shows me the IP address that I'm registered to. Okay, so keep in mind that QR code, when it got downloaded, it had all your settings in there. It knew all the different IP addresses of the PBX. It knew its LAN port IP, the WAN port IP. It knew its public IP. So it's able to find its way and try to find its way back to the QX using one of those IPs, depending on where you're registering from. Okay, and so then you've got there's no settings here that you're going to configure, like a username, password, or enter any of that information in the eCall itself. That's all downloaded in the QR code. All right, here's my voicemail. So I got one voicemail on this extension 108. This is my do not disturb. It says feature. Let me just do that again. All right, that's feature activated. So now my do not disturb is active. Now it's deactivated. Call forwarding. Okay, so that's for configuring my call forwarding. You've got your programmable keys, which we're going to come back to here towards the end. Okay, so you could use your keypad here, or you can enter the keypad from your, use the keypad on your keyboard. Okay. Next is the, let's see if I look at recents, we'll go down to the bottom, click on recent, and I can see that, you know, the recent calls that I've made. These are calls, let's say if I receive one from this extension, this other phone. Let's reject that one. Actually, okay, yep, I rejected it, went to voicemail. Okay, so here's the recent calls. This came from extension 106. That was a call that was declined. Um, this is an incoming call, and this green is an outbound call. Use your timestamp. You can click here. This is if it's a local extension, I could do a chat. Okay, so you can do a chat with those users. Okay, if and I can also just click on the phone here to place a call to any one of those. Okay, you can see it will dial to it. All right, you can display all your just all calls or missed calls. You can search, so you got that available to you. Your contacts. This is it brings all your contacts out of Outlook. Personal contacts that you might add. So if you have for you add one for mom or whoever it might be, you can add those manually. You can add those, and you can edit those. You can delete them. You can star them and put them in your favorites. Okay, your favorites being over here in the right. So as you have different people that you contact often, you can go ahead and put a star beside those. Okay, and then you've got your QX phonebook directory. So if you have the phonebook directory um, installed on the QX, you can, that will be displayed. And then, of course, then you have your favorites as well. All right, so plenty of directories there to save, have your callers listed. All right, I mentioned chat already, so you can do chat with different users, different phones. If they support chat, you can chat with those other eQall users. So if I want to chat with the extension 106, you can send a message there. Actually, that was a pop-up on. It came up as a pop-up on that's a Yealink phone, and it came up as a pop-up and desk phone, and I can click on it and display that message. All right. Let's go through the settings a little bit more. Okay, we've already looked at the accounts. You're not required to, you don't have to have multiple accounts, but just to show that you can have different accounts on different PBXs if needed. You can enable, disable the account very easily. You can edit the account. Just a couple settings in here, whether it's going to use the Epygi outbound proxy server, or if needed, you can use the Epygi stun server if the device is behind a firewall and if it's needed. Okay. Let's see. So that's the edits. Let's go to some more settings. You got your general settings, whether or not it's going to start on boot. You can load your Microsoft contacts automatically. You can click on your audio devices. There's your. You can choose which device you're going to be using for your. Whether it's the computer microphone or the headset, you can choose which device you're going to be using for audio. Video would have the video devices. And for troubleshooting, if you do have a problem, there's a couple different logging levels. There's the info level, and then there's the verbose level. Verbose is going to collect a lot more detailed information. So if you set the verbose mode, and then you go back and you make a phone call, say if I dial extension 100. All right, got the call, it's made. Now we go back to the troubleshooting. And from there, I can view or send the logs. So just keep in mind that this verbose will go back and after you click and view or send, it's going to go back to the info just with the more brief info setting, as you can see. All right, so we did the, I clicked on send logs, and I'm going to bring in the email that it creates. Okay, you can, by default, it's going to go to support.epygi.com, but you can mail that, you can put any address that you have in there. And here's the log file. And of course, you can add any information in here. If you're having a certain type of problem, you can add that. So of course, that along with the QX system logs, we can take a look and see if you're having any issues. If you need our assistance, we can do that. All right. Okay, so let's go back. So you got that. What else can we show you? The next thing would be to take a look at the MPK settings. So I'm back on the QX, and over here on the right-hand side, you'll see you're familiar with the MPK, multifunctional programmable keys. You've been using that for a while now to program the different keys on your desk phones. Well, you're also going to use that to program keys on your eQall if needed. All right. So as you can see, this isn't just the basic ordinary Softphone. It's very tightly integrated with the Epygi PBX. So it's not just any Softphone. There's definitely a lot of benefit to using it. One of them is not only the ease of programming, but also you have the being able to choose the programmable keys. So this is, you can do the watched extensions. You've got your drop down that you're familiar with. You can do like a shared voicemail box, like a general voicemail box, call park extensions, scheduling. You can have a scheduling on here, so you can toggle the schedule for the system, put it in like a night service or if needed. So you got your different settings that you're familiar with there with your MPK. All right, and so once you update that, you can click on this, the lines up here on the top right. You can see the dash lines there. And it opens up another window. It's detached. Okay, you can, which will have all those keys on it. So so now I've got this extension 100. I can click on it, and it operates just like the regular watch extension that you're familiar with. So you've got a couple calls in progress. All right, so there's your call park, office hours, scheduling. Okay, so you've got that. That's available to you. That is pretty much it. Okay. That's quite a bit. Like I said, we've had a lot of users that have gone out. They've used this instead of their desk phone. We've had a lot of users replace their desk phone instead of using this. I think what you're going to find is you're going to have a lot of users that are going to have both. So let's take a look at maybe some of the settings that you might have to go to make this work a little bit better. Give you some ideas on things that you can do. So let me log back into the QX. Okay, as you can see, we've got this configured to extension 108. Well, what if the guy has a desk phone extension 100? So now he's got his desk phone. He's going to leave it there because, yeah, he's going to be back in the office tomorrow or next week, after this whole work from home is over. He's going to be coming back to his office, but he wants to be able to use both. He wants incoming calls to ring both his eQall, and he wants, to be able to originate calls and look like it originated from his extension as well. So the best feature or option for that is to configure the two. Remember, you got two different extensions, two different IP lines. The best way to configure that is using the parent-child option. So I go to this extension 108, do an edit on it in the admin settings, and I just click on this option here called Use Parent Extension. And then there's a drop-down list of all your extensions. You tell it which extension will be the parent's extension. And by the way, you can have several child extensions all using the same parent extension. Okay, so as soon as I do that, you notice I lose all my other settings on this extension 108. The reason being is all those settings are now controlled by extension 108. I go back to my extension list. You can see extension 108 is now a child extension. Extension 100 has a different color to it, and it is the parent extension. Okay, so now an incoming call is going to ring both extension 108 and 100, both devices. The benefit, though, I mean, that's easy to configure. You can do that with using mini extension ringing. But the benefit is if either extension originates, whether it be from eQall or from the desk phone, it will always originate. The origination is always going to look like the call originated from this extension 100 for caller ID purposes, CDR records, things like that. It's always going to look like it originated from extension 100. So there's the benefit. Of course, with eQall, you can still configure your usual extensions or usual scenarios, configure a virtual extension, doing mini extension ringing, etc. Okay, so that's still available. All right, and as far as troubleshooting goes, just make sure the QX can do a ping. You can go to maintenance. If you do have some problems, make sure the QX can do a ping. See if you can do a ping over to the ecmon.epygicloud.com and make sure that's available. Okay, that it can get out to it. The QX firewall, you want to make sure that it's, of course, it's available to SIP messages, but if you've got your QX locked down like you should have, typically most of your QXs are configured so that you're only receiving SIP messages from your SIP trunking provider. So you want to make sure that you're still maintain that security, even though you've got this roaming device out there that can be anywhere on the internet originating. You don't know where that device is going to, what their IP address is, so it's not practical to add in and find out what the user's IP address is so you can add their IP in to allow it to have access. That's not even practical, right? So what you can do is you can create in your filtering rules, you can go to SIP access, and you've probably got a group in there. Actually, I've got one called appropriately named SIP access, the group name. And in that group, you can go up here to IP groups and find that group, SIP access, and I've got some IPs in here. Typically, that's going to be one of your SIP trunking IPs. Or I've also added to receive SIP messages from proxy.sip.epygi.com. All right, so just keep that in mind. The document mentions all that. They also, to generate the QR code, you might need access through the QX firewall. If there's a firewall in front of it, I should say, you're going to need maybe to open up port 9449 to generate the QR code. All right, so that pretty much concludes. That does conclude the eQall application. Keep in mind you can contact us. We will have this recording available. I will mention that we do have some enhancements coming up. Just a little plug for just as a what's up and coming. We've got some enhancements coming. Actually, some that are already available on ECMon. Keep in mind you can get remote access to the QX or the ECQX PBXs, even when the PBX is behind a firewall. You can do that through our ECMon application. So you can sign up, get that started. We can get a 30-day trial if you want to try that out. The ECMon, we're always adding new, looking for new things to add to it, new enhancements. We've added the location mapping, so you can see on a map where the location of your device, where it's located. We've got the system event notification. A lot of people forget about that, or maybe they're not aware of the system event notification. It can send you an email or even send you a phone call when maybe you you get if a device goes offline or something like that in the middle of the night. It's better, you might not want to get that phone call, but it's better to you get the phone call and find out about it before your customer does. So you can configure that, so you can get a heads up if there's any issues. There's going to be a GUI emulator, so you can configure a QX from the ECMon, and you can choose the PBX configure online there, save the configuration. All right. There's also some new features coming up on the QX. One that I'm excited about is the call parking enhancements to allow automated call parking. So I think that's going to be real big in the retail sector. All right, that concludes the discussion. I'm going to stop the recording. We'll try to make this available to you at some point. I appreciate everyone's attention for joining this morning, and look forward to working with each one of you. All right, stay safe out there, and I will take some questions here in a moment, just a few.